Hi, today we're going to talk about the past simple and the present perfect tenses. So let me start by giving you a few examples. I can say I went to school on Monday. I went to school on Monday. Okay, so if we would like to define the structure, then I will always have to start with the subject, which is the person or the object that performs a certain activity. This can be I, you, she, he, it, the dog, Veronica, anything really. Then I will need to use a verb in the second form. So instead of saying, for example, to go, to make, to cook, I will say went, did, cooked. So if I have a regular verb, I will just add ed. However, if I do not have a regular verb, then I will have to learn the second form, and below this video you're going to see the full list of the irregular verbs that are obligatory for you. Okay, so I have the subject, I have the verb in the second form, and next I need to add some more detail. So in this case, I added I went to school, right? And then the last part is the time when the certain activity took place. It can be on Monday, yesterday, in the morning, at 2 p.m., anything as well. Okay, so let me give you another example. I can say, for example, that the dog, this is the subject, barked. Okay, this is the past form of the verb to bark. Barked at the cat. This is the extra detail part. The dog barked at the cat yesterday. And that is the time when this activity took place. Okay, so when will I use the past simple tense? It's pretty easy. Whenever you say when something happened in the past, you know when it happened, then I will use the past simple tense. Let's look at our examples. I said I went to school on Monday. Do I know when? Yes, on Monday. And in the second sentence, the dog barked at the cat yesterday. Do I know when? Yes, yesterday. So let me write it down. When I know when. When I know when something happened. Okay. However, sometimes I won't really mention when something happened. For example, I can say, I broke my leg. And in this case, I will write it down as well, I broke my leg. I will use the past simple tense, even though I do not mention when. And this is for the sole reason that you do not break your leg for, let's say, 20 minutes, nor for 2 hours. You break it in a certain moment in the past. It's kind of implied, okay? Like, we can assume that you broke your leg at a certain moment in the past, right? So yeah, to sum it up, whenever we know when something happened, or it took a very short period of time, and it's kind of obvious that it just like took maybe 1 minute, then I will have to use the past simple tense. Okay, so what about the present perfect? Let me start as well with an example. So I can say, I have finished my homework. Okay, so let's right now look at the structure. I will once again have to start with the subject. So I, you, she, he, it, Veronica, anything. Subject. Then I will have to place the verb to have. Have when it comes to I, you, they, we. But I will have to use has if I have she or he. So I have finished my homework, but she has finished her homework. Okay, next up, I will have to use the third form of the verb. Third form of the verb. It usually is the same as the second one. However, we also have a full irregular list, so I'm going to attach it below this video so you can have a look, okay? And right now, I will have to also add some extra detail, so the rest. But as you can see, there is one difference. I do not define the time. I do not have to say on Monday. No, I don't even mention that. Okay, so let's look at a few more examples and then I will explain when we use this tense. So, I have finished my homework. I can also say she has danced all night. Or what else? Peter has lived in Glasgow for the last 5 years. Okay, so here we have 3 examples, and in a few minutes we're going to complete a few exercises, so don't worry if you do not understand it just yet. However, when will I use this tense? Well, number 1, if something happened in the past but has not yet finished. So, for example, my brother, Peter, that's actually true, he lives in Glasgow. He still lives there. He's currently there. And he has moved there 5 years ago. So, because he still lives there, this action has not finished yet, then I will need to use the present perfect tense. So, number 1, something started in the past but has not yet finished. Okay, what else? I will use this tense when I do not mention when something happened in the past. So look, if I tell you I finished my homework in the morning, do I know when I finished it? Yes, in the morning. So I will use the past simple tense. However, if I just say I have finished my homework, then do you know when? I don't, right? It doesn't really matter. What matters is the result, okay? So whenever we do not know when something happened, then we will use the present perfect tense. I don't know when it happened. Okay, and the third rule is that whenever something has like important results, okay? Let's say you're like a boss and you ask your employee if they have done their assignment. You don't care about the process. You don't care about anything apart from the results. So whenever you care only about the results, then we will use the present perfect tense. When we care only about the results. Okay, so let's look at the 2 timelines I have drawn here. In the first one, we can see the past simple tense. So, I went to school on Monday. When I have a timeline, there is a specific time when it happened. On Monday, right? Pretty simple. However, when I have present perfect and I have done my homework, then it could have happened on Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I don't know when I did it. The only thing that matters are the results. So I will use the present perfect tense. I hope that's clear. And right now, let's look at this activity. So your task is to fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb, past simple or present perfect. You can right now pause the video and try to do it yourself. Yeah, and right now, let's check it. So, 1. I Paris last summer. What is important here is this part, last summer. Do I know when? Yes, I do. So I will use the past simple tense. I visited Paris last summer. Okay, number 2. Her homework yet. Okay, so this is actually a question. No, it's not a question. It's like a normal sentence. What am I talking about? But still, what matters is kind of like the result. There is no result, okay? She hasn't finished her homework yet. But I will have to use the present perfect tense because I do not mention the time when she might have done this homework. So, she has not finished her homework yet. Number 3, day to a new house in 2010. Do I know when? Yeah, it's pretty obvious. In 2010. So I need to use which tense? Precisely. The past simple tense. So they moved. They moved. Okay, number 4. We each other since we were children. The first cue, there's nothing about the time, right? And probably if you met someone in the past, you still know them, right? This is not something that ends. Unless you're me, then relationships do end. But okay, in this case, it started in the past and has not yet finished. So I need to use the present perfect tense. So we have known each other since we were children. Next one. He breakfast, so he's not hungry. Okay, here, do I have the result? Yes, I do. He's not hungry. And whenever the result is important, then I had to use which tense? The present perfect tense. So he has just eaten. This is the third form. I will send you the full list. You have to learn it by heart. Breakfast, so he's not hungry. Number 6. When I was a child, I football every weekend. When I was a child, I football every weekend. Do I know when? Yes, when I was a child, right? That's pretty difficult to understand, but that is the answer to when. Yes. So when I was a child, I played. Okay, football every weekend. Number 7, she that movie 3 times. What should I put here? There is nothing about yesterday, nothing about last month. There is just the result, right? 3 times. So which tense? Present perfect. She has already seen the movie 3 times.
She bad on him like this. Cow dough, now she wanna ride it.